Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. This week's show is going to be packed full, so I'll try to squeeze it into an hour, guys. We talked to Gyasi, an up-and-coming entrepreneur from Atlanta, Georgia. He started his own cigar line last year. We'll find out how he got his start and what he plans in the future. Then we'll talk to Paul from the 5150 Cigar Tour. He announces his start date and location. Then we'll hear from a few listeners, announce our cigar of the week, and give out a couple of cigar tips. Oh yeah, and we'll definitely be announcing this week's winner for the giveaway. So grab yourself a cigar, sit back, because now it's time to light 'em up. Hey guys, on Cigar Talk this week, I've got a special guest, Gyasi from Atlanta. He's a 26-year-old entrepreneur. He started his own cigar line, and we're going to get his story, find out how he got started and all that good stuff. So welcome to the show, Gyasi. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I'm sitting here smoking a Remember Cuba cigar. They're fantastic. If you haven't had one, you should definitely check them out. They're on the website. I'll have a link. You can go check out their cigars. I promise you definitely want to try it. It's one of the best I've ever had.
For sure.
And,
well, I can't wait till you try mine.
Hey man, I'm all ready to smoke it. Trust me. So Gyasi, you're from Atlanta. Are you originally from Atlanta?
No, I was born in Gary, Indiana, and I moved to Texas. I went to middle school and high school in Texas, and then I moved out here. Once I graduated, I moved to Atlanta in 2011.
Okay. Well, I'm in Texas. So what part of Texas were you in?
I was in Prosper, Texas, right outside of Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, I know where that is. Actually, my daughter's on her way there for the weekend. So yeah, I know exactly where that is. How long have you been the hustling entrepreneur that you are?
Oh man, this started back. I'm trying to think. I was like 10 years old, and my first dose of being an entrepreneur was when I had a tutor for science, because I was never really big on science like that, and atoms and neutrons, and I was never really big on it. So I had a tutor for it, and she tutored me at a library, and at the library they had a box of cell phones, and it was like cell phones that people didn't want anymore. They just threw them in a box. And so it was like 30 of them in there. So I took all 30 of them and put them in my backpack. And the next day I went to school and I made $600 in one day.
Oh, man, that's amazing, guy. I love that. That's a great story right there. 10 years old and hustling, man. I love it. So I talked to you last week and you told me that you played football on Deion Sanders' team. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, I played with Deion for about 3 years.
Well, I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan, so a lot of love goes out to Deion Sanders, brother.
Oh, definitely, man. He's such a great guy, really giving, and he cares about the community and giving back, and actually my first football cleats were his cleats.
No
kidding. He gave me a pair of with his number on the back and everything. Stitched in, and he gave me a pair of turf cleats and a pair of regular cleats.
So you still have
both
those?
of them had his number on the back.
So you still have those?
I don't know where they are. They're probably up in a box somewhere in my mom's house, my mom and stepdad's house.
I got you.
Somewhere. So yeah, but I don't have them anymore right now.
I got you. So how long have you been doing cigars?
It's only been like maybe a year and a half, maybe.
So what made you
think? Not too long.
What made you think, man, I want to start doing the cigar business?
I had stole my first cigar from my stepdad when I was 12 because I was very, very curious. And I took one out of his box and I ran to the backyard when nobody was home, and I cut it and I lit it. And I was like, oh, man, when I get of age, I'm going to have my own cigar line. And here we are today.
Oh, wow. So let me ask you one question. What did you use to cut that cigar in the backyard?
I used a knife to cut it.
I was going to say, I bet you didn't know what you were doing back then.
Right.
So where can we find your cigars? If someone that's listening to the show wanted to order some of your cigars, first tell us, what's the name of your cigar brand?
The name of the cigar brand is G Cigars. The G stands for Gyasi, which is my middle name, and it's actually my brand. Because I have Gyasi Clothing as well. I have my own clothing line, and Gyasi Incorporated is my company. So, but you can go to Gyasi Inc. That's GYASI Inc.com, and everything is on there as well.
Okay, great. So tell us about your cigars. What type of cigars do you carry?
Well, G Cigars are premium long filler barber pole Robusto cigar. It's handmade in Dominican Republic and born from Cuban seeds as well. And it's the Dominican San Victor and Allure. So it has the Connecticut and Maduro wrapper on it as well. It's long filler. So
yeah, I saw pictures of them, man.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I saw pictures of them, man. They're beautiful cigars.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, what's your plan long term as far as the cigar business?
Well, my plans long term, man, is to of course, I want to get brand ambassadors and things of that nature. But I want to take this thing, as far as possible. But my main thing with the cigars is that I want to influence as many people as possible to do something positive within the world. Selling cigars, you can take them on a plane, you can take them across the world without any hassle. Because there's plenty of people out here selling things that they don't have any business selling, but they have to feed their family. And I just want to show people that hey, it's possible to have a positive hustle. So, that's pretty much, where I'm at with it as far as the cigars, but, and I have a strong passion for it as well. So
yeah,
they really do a lot to me.
I saw your Instagram page, man. It looks like you're doing a lot of positive energy towards the community that you're in. If someone wants to find you on Facebook or Instagram, how's the best way to find you on those social media sites?
Well, Instagram is King Gyasi. That's KING GYASI. And on Facebook is Dakari King Thurman. That's DAKARI King Thurman. And I respond to everybody within a few minutes. It doesn't take me long at all. If you DM me or direct message me or whatever the case may be, I respond pretty well.
Well, cool, man. So you got the Super Bowl coming to Atlanta here this weekend. Are you in Atlanta right now?
Yeah, I'm here now. Yep. I was actually supposed to be in Chicago, but I'm glad I didn't go because it's like 17 below.
Yeah,
out there right now.
Yeah, no, thank you. Us Southern boys need to stay down here when it's that cold up there.
Right.
So are you planning to do anything as far as your cigars and the Super Bowl go?
Oh, definitely. Just getting out here, networking as much as possible. And, I should sell a nice amount of cigars, over the weekend as the Super Bowl, progresses and it comes about. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, where are you going to be for the Super Bowl?
I'll be here. But it's 1,001 lounges here in Atlanta.
Okay. So are any of the lounges there in Atlanta carrying your cigars yet?
No, not as of yet. I'm doing everything independently, selling everything independently out my house. Literally, I have a big humidor here at the house. I have 2 of them actually now.
Nice.
So I'm able to store 1,000 cigars at a time.
Wow, that's great, man. So
yeah,
when I get your cigar and I get to smoke it, what kind of profile does it have? Is it like a medium? Is it full flavor? Is it got a complex pepper?
It's more of a medium. When I first started out, I had infused them with Douce, and everybody loved it, and it gave it that really smooth flavor, and the smoke was really, really great. And it's not harsh. A lot of people don't like harsh cigars, and it's a lot of harsh cigars out there. So I try to make it as much for the people as possible.
Right, try to do a medium profile so you go to the masses.
Right.
I gotcha. So when are you going to come back out to Texas?
Oh man, I should definitely be out there soon. I got a lot of friends, and my mom is trying to sell a house out there and prosper. So, I should definitely be back out there ASAP. So.
I was going to say, me and Paul, and I don't know if you remember Paul, but on the last episode, Paul announced his 5150 tour, and we're going to head over to the Underground Cigar Festival in Fort Worth, which is March 8th, 9th, and 10th. So if you have an opportunity to come out that weekend, definitely you should come by and join us, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That would be awesome. I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, I believe it's been going for, I believe this is the 4th year the festival's going, and I believe the first year was about 50 people. Then the next year it was about 100, and then the next year was 200. And so, I'm sorry, not 200, it was 500. So it's really grown just in 3 years. I can't imagine how many people are going to be there this year. This might be a great place for you to come and network for your cigar company.
Yeah, definitely. If you could send me the information on that, or DM it to me on Instagram, I would definitely love to fly out for that.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'll definitely send you a DM on that information, and I'll also have it up on my website so anybody who's listening can find out about it. It's going to be March 8th, 9th, and 10th in Fort Worth, Texas, and it ought to be a great atmosphere for the cigar culture. I can't wait.
Right. Yeah, that would be awesome, and I would definitely love to come and and meet with you all for that.
Okay.
That would be really cool.
Sounds great, man. I love what you're doing. I love the work. I'm a big believer in if you want something, you go out and get it, and the way you get it is by doing a lot of hard work. So a lot of props to what you're doing out there, man.
Oh, I appreciate you, man. This is my first time, on a cigar podcast, so even having a cigar interview period. So I definitely appreciate that, and this one was definitely one for the books.
All right, man. Well, hey, we'll definitely have you on the show again so you can give us an update of what you got going on.
Okay, I appreciate you, and we're definitely going to stay in touch.
All right, Gyasi. Man, we appreciate you joining us, and you have a good one, and stay smoking, my friend.
All right, same to you.
All right, take care. Hey guys, this week we're going to try something new. We're going to take some calls from some listeners, see what questions they have for us, try to answer them the best we can. So let's get to it. Hey, thanks for calling Cigar Talk. This is Rob. Who do we got today?
Hey Rob, this is Aaron out of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock, Arkansas. I've been there a couple times, man. That's a beautiful place.
Man, it's you can't complain too much. We got good hiking trails up here. Not too cold, way better than what my brother's getting up in Chicago right now.
Oh,
I can
man.
tell you that.
Yeah, hearts go out to those guys.
Yeah.
So, do you have a great shop there in Little Rock?
Oh yeah. We have a good shop. I happen to work at the one I'm at right now. I'm not working tonight, but that's how y'all can tell that it's a good shop when you want to be here, even when you're not on the clock.
Hey, man, I know exactly what you mean. So I appreciate you calling in for the questions. Lay your question on us, see if we can come up with an answer for you.
All right, so what I have is, with me working in a shop, I have a big influx of first-time smokers and everything that come in, and one of our jobs is to educate them. But one of the main questions I get all the time is like a two-part question. Where are your Cubans, and why are they so good? My answer to that is, well, you can't have them. You can't sell or trade in the U.S. And, is a Cuban really all that good? Where did this thinking and rationale of higher echelon of Cuban cigar is the top tier with, in the newer cigar communities?
Well, and I'll try to take a crack at this. I think first let's start with Cuban cigars have a history of being the top echelon tier of cigars. And even though that history is rich and a beautiful thing, if you look at today's market, the landscape of cigars has totally changed over the last 20 years for sure. You're looking at growing tobacco in Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Honduras, and these are great growing places. And not only does it have the great soil, great climate, but you're also using Cuban seeds in these regions and growing Cuban seed tobacco in these great growing regions. So I think the mindset of Cubans being the best cigars in the world comes from the rich history that they had at one time. But over the years, and I'm not sure if you know this, but Cuba used to rotate their crops every year from corn to tobacco to hay back to tobacco, and now over the last probably 25 years they don't rotate their crops, and what that does is it deteriorates the soil quality over the years. And if you go down to Nicaragua or the Dominican Republic, these guys are doing that with their crops. They're rotating the crops out so that you're maintaining the quality of that soil year after year.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to replenish, the nutrients and everything. With our shop, we were lucky enough to go down to Perdomo factory every year, and just seeing the soil in Nicaragua, just how jet black it is, especially in that volcanic area.
Oh, it's so
where their farm is. Yeah, it's just you just want to take up some of that dirt home and just see what you can grow out of it.
Right,
but it's just
and the smell of the soil is amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and I mean, it really looks like if you put it in a clear plastic bag and compared it with like what's that company that makes that Miracle Grow potting soil?
Mm-hmm.
It looks almost the same, except there's more crap in the Miracle Grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's still that dark, rich color. And so the other thing that I wanted to touch on there is Cubans still make some great cigars. But the thing about new cigar smokers and even some I would call middle of the road cigar smokers, when they come in and ask for Cubans, they've heard the rumors that now you can get Cubans because they were actually talking about it in the government, and then they ended up withdrawing that proposal. So that's no longer allowed. But if you go to Cuba, you can still bring back up to 100 cigars. And so people do bring them back, smoke them. That is for personal use only. You cannot market them. You can't sell them. It's just for personal use. But the other thing I wanted to bring up too is, and I'm sure you've had this experience, excuse me, is that what's the number one cigar that's counterfeited? And it's the Cohiba. And,
definitely.
And the reason why is because that's the cigar name that everybody knows that doesn't even smoke cigars.
Yeah. So I can't tell you how many times I've bursted people's bubbles. They bring me a box that they got on the beach. Like, oh, look at these Cubans. I'm like, man, I'm sorry I have to have to tell you this, but Cubans aren't going to be on the beach with a glass top box and everything like that.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine years ago tell me he was going on a cruise down to the Dominican Republic, and he told me that I'm going to buy you a box of cigars. And I said, nah, don't worry about it. Really don't worry about it. And he was like, no, I'm serious. I'm going to buy you a box of cigars. And I said, okay, if you just have your mind set on it, do me a favor, though. When you get down there, don't buy me Cohibas, please. And he was like, why? I thought those were the best. And I said, that's exactly why I don't want you to buy them, because you don't know anything about cigars. And you're going to go down there and buy Cohibas, and they're really going to be a bunch of banana peels that have been dried and rolled into these things that look like cigars.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, he comes back from the Dominican Republic, and you know what he brings me?
Probably a nice big old box of Cohibas, huh?
A big old box of Cohibas with a glass top. And you know how many?
Hey, but at least he brought you cigars. There is at least that silver lining.
And I was appreciative. But you know how many of those I smoked?
Oh yeah, I mean those are the ones you don't even put in your humidor in case there's beetles or anything like that.
I never even opened the box.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't.
But I mean, I was that age at one point. I went on my first cruise, 13 years ago, and it's like, oh, cigars on the beach. Yeah, I'll buy a box of those. How much? $40 for a whole box? Shoot, yeah, I'm getting a deal.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, man, I appreciate you calling in, and I appreciate you having a question for us. We're going to be doing 3 questions on this show, and as I've been telling everybody, we're going to start drawing between the 3 people who have questions for the weekly giveaway. And this week's giveaway is a new hat. It's a black hat with black embroidery from Cigar Fellas. Have you heard of them?
I have.
that man, they make some killer apparel. And in case people don't know, all of their proceeds go to charity. They're 100% nonprofit. And so if you go to their website at Cigar Fellas, you can order any of their apparel, and all that money goes at the end of the year either to St. Jude's or the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Man, they're doing great work out there. So
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll be sending out the we'll announce the winner at the end of the show, and so on tomorrow, check it out and see if you're the winner, man.
Hey, definitely. Hey, and I appreciate all the stuff you're doing, especially in the cigar community. You know, the Brothers of Leaf, we all have to stick together, and listening to your show every week has just been a great thing. You know, I'm a wood carpenter by trade, so I listen to it while I'm at work, and I just wish I could have a cigar in my mouth while I was in my wood shop. But fire and ash with wood chips really aren't the
not a
best
good
combination.
Idea. Right. Hey man, well, we appreciate the support, and I hope everybody out there knows that we do this show for the people of the cigar culture. This show's not about me. I do the best job I can selecting great people to interview, and I hope it comes over well. And but by all means, it's not for me. It's for all the cigar smokers out there.
And we appreciate it. Whenever next time you're in Little Rock, Weston has a cigar waiting for you.
Hey, man, we're definitely going to come to Little Rock and come to your shop. I promise you that, brother.
We'll be here.
All right, man. Have a great night and enjoy your smoke.
Yeah, you too. Keep them lit.
All right, always. We'll see you, buddy. Hey, welcome to Cigar Talk. This is Rob. Who do we have with us today?
Hey, Rob. How you doing? This is Josh. How are you, bud?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic. I'm sitting here smoking a cigar from Remember, Cuba. It's a cigar line out of Florida, and let me tell you, man, they are delicious. If you haven't had one, you should look them up.
Oh, man, absolutely. I'd love to try one of those.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's one of the best cigars probably within the last 6 months that I've had, and it's just knocking my socks off.
Oh, man, that's great. That's great, man. That's awesome.
Hey, so thanks for calling in for the questions. So what do you have for us today?
So, Rob, I've been listening to your podcast for quite some time, and, last podcast that I listened to, you guys were talking about your smoking lounge and your smoking rooms and kind of setting them up to create enjoyable environments, and it kind of got me thinking, all of us have been brought into this type of community and brotherhood and sisterhood, usually by somebody else. And, I always kind of wondered, what's the most memorable cigar that you smoked, whether it's a rare vintage or just a great time, somebody that you really enjoyed smoking it with, or maybe just the cigar that kind of started you on this whole journey?
Well, really one time in particular comes to mind for me. And I tell you, I was smoking a Christoph, and a lot of people know that that's the cigar that really made the light go on for me in the first place. But that being said, I don't even remember which Christoph it was. I've just recently got a sampler pack of Christophs at that time. And in 2016, both my parents had passed away. But prior to my dad passing away, the most memorable cigar was me and him sitting out on his front porch. Him and my mother lived in a 1936 Craftsman style house in Lubbock, Texas, and we were sitting out on the front porch probably about 6:30 in the evening. Nice cool breeze coming in, and me and him sat there and smoked two Christophs together. And I think about that a lot, especially since he's been gone now for about 2 years. But, and that's a big part of smoking cigars. It's not always the cigar. A lot of it is your environment, who you're with, what you're drinking, and so on. But definitely for me, that's my most memorable. And I tell you what, when my mom passed away, my dad only lived for 41 days after that. And for those 41 days, I was with him for 38 days. And so
wow.
we smoked a lot of good cigars together. And I really couldn't tell you all the different cigars that we smoked, but I just remember sitting on the front porch and the sun going down and a nice cool breeze. And he was real sick and he wasn't feeling good, but for a brief moment he felt great, and we had a great conversation. And so for me, that's my most memorable cigar of my entire life. So let me reverse the question back to you. What's the most memorable cigar for you?
Oh man, wow, that's a crazy one. I kind of figured you might ask that, and I was kind of racking my brain. I think the most memorable cigar for me had to be the Ashton 898. Ashton's always made
Great cigar.
It's absolutely amazing. I mein, their portfolio has kind of been flawless since day one, and they're really known for that type of consistency. But just growing up, I didn't really have a dad. My dad was never really in the picture, and so my mom enrolled me in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. And I was paired up with a big brother, and for the longest time we were together all through middle school and high school, and he kind of left and went off to to go pursue his life with his wife out in San Francisco, and we lost track of each other over the years. Until about 10 years ago, he came back. I live in Maine, so, it's a big jump from going to one side of the country to the other. And, he found me on social media and asked me if I wanted to get together. And we met up at a local cigar shop, and, we sat down, and I had never really had a cigar before, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But, he gave me, an Ashton 898, and we kind of rekindled our relationship. And, since then, we've been going to the shop together regularly, 3 or 4 days. He was the best man at my wedding. I named my son after him.
Wow, that's great, man.
Yeah, it's a really cool experience and a really enjoyable community to be a part of. And I think that's what's so amazing. I myself, along with every other listener, we would have never known that. And now every time that I see a Christoph, or I see somebody smoking a Christoph, or I smoke one myself, there's going to be a little part of me that's kind of tied into your story. And I can always say, hey man, this is for Rob and his dad, and
hey,
that's
man,
what makes
that means a lot
this
to me.
community
And
awesome.
let me tell you, that's exactly what I love about cigars. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love smoking a great cigar, even if I'm by myself in my smoke shed. But whenever I get together with either great friends or someone I've never even met before, it's just a great time to hang out and get to know someone over a cigar. And that's what this whole community is about. And so I thank you so much for calling in with a great question, man. So,
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate you listening too. Without you guys' support, there'd be no reason to do this show. And so for you guys to call in and share your stories, that makes it worth it for me, man.
Well, it's a pleasure, Rob, and I'll tell you what, man, it's one of the most enjoyable hours of my day, being able to listen to, people that I've never met in person, halfway across the country, just sit there and talk about their love for cigars. It kind of, keeps you fueled and energized to know that there's a bunch of other people out there that share that same passion. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
So just let me say, you're most welcome. But also I want to add, you never know whenever I might pop up in your part of the world, and we'll go down to the shop and have a cigar together, brother.
Oh, absolutely. You are more than welcome any time of day or night, my friend.
All right, man. Well, hey, take care. We appreciate you calling in.
You got it. Thank you so much, Rob. You take care.
All right. Hey, thanks for calling Cigar Talk. This is Rob. Who do we have calling in?
Hey, what's up, boss? This is Gil.
Hey, Gil, thanks for calling in. Are you a regular listener on the show?
Yes, I am.
All right, man. We appreciate we really appreciate your support, and the whole reason we do the show is for you guys out there, because you know what, I'm right there with you. I enjoy the cigar talk. I enjoy the camaraderie, the community, the culture. That's what I do this show for. So we appreciate you supporting our show, and so lay your question on us. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, the question I have for you is, why the podcast? Like, how did you get it started?
Well, let me tell you, it goes back quite a while. We've only been doing the show now. This is episode 8, and I originally came up with the idea to do the Cigar Talk podcast because I used to do reviews of cigar shops, and I had a Facebook page called Rob's Cigar Stops, and I toured a lot of different cigar shops. It started actually in Ruidoso, New Mexico. I went by a shop there, and I just fell in love with it, and I wanted to share that information with other cigar smokers that might be going through Ruidoso so they could find that shop. And so I started going to different shops and writing reviews on shops, and I met just some great people. And so I kind of fell in love with the whole culture. And of course I love cigars, but getting to meet all those different people at the shops I was going to, I was like, you know what would be great is if I could actually share the same experience that I'm having with people in the cigar community. And so I decided to do a podcast, and that was actually in 2017, probably about August. And so I decided I'd start doing a podcast, and we got everything geared up to start in December of last year. And I made a few contacts that said they would be happy to do the show. And so then about 3 weeks before the first podcast episode was supposed to start, some weather came through and we had to change the dates. So then I was able to go finally to the Train Car Cigar Bar down in Big Springs, which is where we actually did our first show. And so in 2018, I believe it was in February, we did an episode at the Train Car, and I was all excited. It was really great, great people over there, unique lounge. I love going over there. But I came home and I was like, okay, I'll do the editing in a few days because I had a lot going on. And so in that time frame, someone had broken my car and stole my backpack, which had all my sound recording equipment, and it had the episode that we had recorded. So basically, I got all my equipment stolen and the episode. So that kind of got me down, and I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. But I kept sitting on it for a long time. And then I don't know if you're familiar with multimedia genius Gary V or not. Have you heard of Gary V?
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, I was watching a video one day of Gary V, and I didn't even know who he was. But by the time I was done watching his video, I was so inspired to get off my butt and start doing something that I was passionate about. And ever since then, I've just been going 90 miles an hour trying to bring the best content, the best information that I can to my brothers and sisters of the Leaf. And so that's basically how we got our start. And I'm loving doing it. It's just a passion of mine. I enjoy the cigars. I enjoy the community. I enjoy bringing the listeners of this show the best content that I can. I'm always asking for feedback if, people have ideas about what we should do on the show. I really love feedback. And I'll tell you the best kind of feedback is if a listener listens to the show and they give me negative feedback. A lot of people always, say, hey, the show's great. I really enjoy it. I don't get very much negative feedback. I think people are afraid they're going to hurt my feelings, and I'll tell you, the one feeling I have on my sleeve, it's pretty tough. So if you have negative feedback, I like to hear that too, because that tells me something that needs to change, and I want to grow as you guys tell me what you want. That way we can make the best show possible. So that's basically how we got our start. Tell us a little bit about what you do, Gil.
I'm a deli owner, man.
A deli owner. Awesome. And where are you from?
I'm from Union City, New Jersey. I'm in the East Coast, man.
Oh, great, man. I'd love to come up there. We always see on TVs and movies of those delis up in New York and that area. So that sounds like something pretty cool. Yeah,
man. It was actually lucky that I found you. Social media, works great and it's amazing. You just hashtag cigars and you came up and, went through your pictures, and I see in your link, it shows your podcast. So I'm like, you know what? I like cigars. Let me click on it. And from the first episode to the Cigar Kid I was listening to, I really liked it.
Oh, man, we appreciate that.
Yeah, man. It's different from a lot of other podcasts. You're more, I don't know how you can explain it, because you're not boring. That's a good thing.
Hey, that's a big plus. That's a big plus. Yeah. I try not to be boring, so I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're doing a drawing of the 3 people who called in and got in for the questions. So you have a 33.3% chance of being our weekly winner this week. And the prize this week is a really cool cigar hat. And the hat is from Cigar Fellas. And have you heard of Cigar Fellas?
Yeah, because of you.
What's that?
Yeah, because of you on your picture.
Oh, okay, great. Well, they're actually up in your area somewhere. I don't know exactly where they are. I know they're from up there on the East Coast. But they do a charity. All their business is nonprofit, and it all goes to St. Jude and the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So we definitely want to support those guys and the efforts that they're doing, and we really appreciate that they send us some apparel to give away on our shows. So is there anything that you'd like to tell us about how we can find you on Instagram or Facebook? How can our listeners find your deli, so if they are in the area, they can swing by and check out your place, man?
They just got to follow me on IG. It's just Gil Pacheco 1, and I post everything about my deli there. I'm literally on 11th Street, New York Avenue, Union City. It's a small deli, but been here for 15 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, when I saw
family owned.
I think I've seen your Instagram before, and you definitely are a cigar lover. I see you smoke a lot of really good cigars, man.
Yeah.
Well,
just got into Cubans.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Hey, well, if I ever get up that way, I'm going to come in for a sandwich, brother.
Of course, man. You're always welcome here, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling in, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
No problem, man. Thank you, boss. Have a good night, man.
All right, you too. Just want to say thank you so much for the callers. That was our caller segment, and let's get on with the show. Paul's up next. Welcome back to Cigar Talk. We've got a special guest. He's reoccurring from last week. It's Paul with the 5150 Cigar Tour. How you doing today, Paul?
I'm doing great, Rob. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, sir. It's just been a week, but I understand that you've come up with a starter plan on your tour. So why don't you tell us what we got going on?
All right, Rob. We're going to the Underground Cigar Shop's Cigar Festival. It's the NFG19.com. It's a cigar festival that they've held in Fort Worth for the last, I believe, 4 or 5 years, and it sounds like a great event.
I was talking to Corey at the Underground Cigar Shop earlier this week, and he was talking about how it's grown every year, and a lot of people come, and it just keeps growing. And he said it's just a great time. They're going to be doing hamburgers on the grill, free beer, and you'll be getting sampler cigars for your entry fee, and then also they'll have a special on the different vendors that are there on 5-packs. So if you buy a 5-pack, you get a raffle ticket, and they're going to be giving away all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, that's coming up on 8th, 9th, and 10th of March, and you can go to their website, which is nfg19.com, and you can purchase your tickets there, or you can call their number, and I don't have that number available, but it's on their website.
Yeah, if you click on the contact link down at the bottom left, it gives you their phone number, so you can actually call and buy tickets.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Being a 3-day event, I'm also starting my tour early. I said last week that I'd probably start around May, but since this event is coming up in March, I'm going to start my tour. And while I'm there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for those 3 days, I'm also going to hit up some other shops.
Oh, awesome. And there's going to be a lot of vendors there, a lot of sales reps, so we'll get to definitely talk to a lot of people in the business and find out what's going on new on their cigar lines and what they've got coming up this year. So let's talk about what we're smoking today, Paul. We've got some special cigars from a good friend of mine out in Florida. His name's Christian, and he owns Remember Cuba. Well, you know what? I'll wait, and I'm going to let you say what you got to say, because I don't want to ruin your perspective, because I'm pretty excited about it. So tell us what you think about what you've smoked so far tonight.
Well, tonight so far we've smoked 2. Well, I've smoked 2. You're on the 3rd one, and I will be smoking the 3rd one shortly. But the first one we smoked was one of the best cigars I've ever smoked in my life. And I've been smoking cigars, Rob, for 15 years, and hands down, it was one of the best cigars I've ever smoked.
Well, that's a big praise for someone who's been smoking for 15 years. We all know that I smoke a lot of cigars. And
I'm not far behind you, Rob.
You're not far. But saying that, I smoke a lot of good cigars. I definitely have a lot of brands that are my favorites. But I'm going to tell you, after receiving these cigars from Remembering Cuba, they have actually gone to the top of my list of the cigars I want to be smoking this year.
Oh, I want to order a truckload. I mean, literally a truckload. I'll just fill my garage up with them.
Yeah, and if you guys want to try these cigars out, I promise you will not be disappointed. And if you know, I do not praise cigars just to do that on my show. They have to be a cigar that I really like, because you guys know how much I love Roma Craft, and I'll smoke a Roma Craft later tonight. I'll smoke one tomorrow most likely. But this cigar is... It knocked my socks off. I'll tell you that.
Amen to that.
I lit it up, and let me just tell you right off the bat, the first thing you notice is that the draw is literally perfect. And I wouldn't say that I've ever... Well, okay, I've said that before about Aroma Craft. But let me tell you this. Remember Cuba Cigars? Their draw was literally the best draw I've ever had.
I concur with that, Rob. I don't think I've... I love Roma Craft too, you know that. And of course I love the whole AJ line. But the draw on that cigar was fantastic.
I mean, it was basically like breathing in heaven.
Absolutely. The construction,
flawless.
I mean, for the price point of that cigar, I don't know anybody who constructs a cigar that well in that price range.
And we're talking $8-9 cigars that, to me, and I told you before the show, I compare it, well, actually, I say it's above an Opus X.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've smoked quite a few different Opus X. And the thing about it is, it's not like this fancy looking cigar. It's a beautiful cigar, but it doesn't have like, that big X stamped on the side of it like Opus does. And anyone out there that loves Opus, I'm not trying to offend you. I enjoy a good Opus from time to time.
As do I.
But when you're comparing cigars, I'm telling you, these guys have done something special. It's amazing. And to be honest with you, I don't have any more. And I'm like, I've got to get on the phone and get an order made as soon as
we're
possible.
Getting some of these cigars.
Yeah, we're definitely going to order
We're
some.
definitely ordering some of these cigars.
So if you guys want to check them out, just Google Remember Cuba Cigars, and you'll find them. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. If you have some great feedback for me, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you think. I think they're probably some of the best cigars available today. So that's about as high praise as I can give a cigar. Anyway, I'm going to quit gloating on Remember Cuba Cigars for now. I'm definitely going to get back to them at a later time, I promise you. So anyway, let's talk about Cigar Fellas. They've been a very generous cigar company. They sent us a hat to give away to one of our lucky listeners, and it is a killer hat. It's a black snapback with the black lettering, and it's a really nice embroidered, and it says Cigar Fellas. If you remember the movie Goodfellas, it looks like that font. Really cool hat. I was showing it to Paul earlier.
Yeah, I want that hat.
All right, well, you're not getting that hat.
I know I'm not getting that hat.
That's for one of the listeners. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about their story, Cigar Fellas. He was telling me their story about how they got in the business, and it's a completely non-profit organization, and they do cigars, they do apparel, and I'm telling you, they're killing it. And I'm very proud that be any association with these guys. And I mean, they just have a heart of gold. All the proceeds that they make from their cigars and apparel all goes to a big barbecue cookout that they have, and once they sell all of that, all the money is donated to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and St. Jude's. They really have a heart for helping children that need help. So I mean, just an awesome organization.
And that's fantastic, Rob. me and you talk about it all the time, and cigar people, in my opinion, are some of the best people in the world. You go into a shop you never been into, and it's like family. And people in the cigar community have a heart of gold, and what Cigar Fellows is doing is definitely a heart of gold.
Yeah,
these guys are really taking our community to the next level.
Yeah, they're the picture of what our community is about. I'm really thankful that they sent us the hat for a giveaway. In fact, we're going to be having them on the show either in March or April, so that'll be a good time. He's pretty funny. He's a character, I promise you.
Oh, that's going to be great. Look forward to listening to that.
So I wanted to give you guys the cigar tip of the week, and I was talking to a good friend of mine, Kevin, out in California. He prefers the V-cut. I'm a guillotine cut guy.
Well, that's funny, Rob, because as you know, I prefer the V-cut.
Yeah, and everybody likes what they like, but he prefers the V-cut, and he also likes torpedoes. So he shared a tip with me. If you like to smoke torpedoes, but you prefer the V-cut, there's a couple of ways to go about it. One which I knew and one that I didn't know, and he shared this one with me. He said what you do is you take the torpedo and you use a guillotine cutter and you cut it normally as you would, but then after you make that cut, you come back with a V-cut and it makes a perfect V-cut on a torpedo cigar. So, I mean, what a great idea. And then Paul was telling me earlier that he likes to smoke a torpedo on occasion, and what he does is he double cuts with a V-cut, which makes a crown cut. So there's a couple of tips for you guys who like torpedoes but also like the V-cuts.
Rob, I just want to say I just started my third Remember Cuba cigars so far. Oh my God. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm packing up and I'm going to Florida. I can't wait for the shipment.
Oh, I can't wait either. I'm definitely making an order tomorrow morning when I can get Christian on the phone.
I think I'm making an order tonight.
Well, I don't know if he'll ship it out tonight, but he'll definitely be, and he's such a cool guy, man. And talk about someone who actually knows cigars. I mean, he blended these different cigars that we're smoking, and just give you guys a heads up for these Remember Cuba cigars. They do Nicaraguan, Dominican Republic, Ecuadorian, and Honduras, and he just makes these incredible blends, and the flavors are fantastic. The thing that just kills me is the construction, and the draw is literally perfect.
Once again, the third cigar tonight from Remember Cuba Cigars, and the draw is perfect. It's not a lie. Just can't believe what we're smoking.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
You would think that you would find these cigars in like the most outrageously debonair type back lounge that has the best of the best.
Absolutely.
So if you guys want to check them out, definitely check out Remember Cuba Cigars. Anyway, I wanted to give you our cigar of the week, and since we're going to be sending the hat to the lucky winner this week, we're not going to be doing the mailing out one of the cigars of the week. So maybe that's why I decided to go with an expensive cigar, because I don't have much money myself. But my cigar of the week is the Perdomo 1964 Anniversary Maduro.
Oh, that's fine smoke.
Yeah,
very
nice.
Fine smoke.
And, really, at the price point, when you're looking at Padrones, that's really not that expensive of a cigar.
No, it's not.
I mean, I think the last time I got one, it was like $18.
Yes.
So for a good Padrone, that's a really good price point, and it's a very good smoke.
Very good smoke.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we appreciate you tuning in this week, and I hope you enjoy the show. Go by our website. It's at www.cigartalkpodcast.com and register. You go to the web page, and there is a menu at the top, and if you click on that menu icon, it will pull up the rest of the menu. Go to the register, and you can register, and that way you'll be in the drawing of the week for whatever we're giving away that week, and that will also give us a way to communicate you with upcoming event. And we like to be in contact with you guys. We might be asking you some questions, what you thought about the show, what ideas you have for the show. And we'll be doing announcements on when we're going to be out and about at different shops. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and keep smoking, my friends. Hey guys, before we leave, we want to let you know you can come over to Instagram, and that's one of the best ways to communicate with us. You can go to Cigar Talk Podcast, and you'll see our logo. And then you can also go over to our webpage and register. And we'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think about the show. Before we go, I want to announce this week's winner. It's going out to Josh. You might also know him on Instagram as cigars.in.207. Swing by his page, follow him, and let him know that you loved having him on the show. I know we sure did. So until next week, guys, stay smoky.